Good morning, guys. How are we all doing? I am Dan from Trading with Dan. This is our Bitcoin morning update. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, we shall quickly go straight over to those Bitcoin 4-hour charts. So yeah, what a turnaround we've had here. Obviously, we managed to break straight back through this resistance, almost like it wasn't there, but clearly we can see we did test the underside of it, or ran the underside of it for a few 4-hour candles first. But yeah, upon breaking above those, we did break straight up. There was quite a decent move in stock markets anyway. That Bitcoin was underperforming in the shorter term. So obviously as stock markets continue to push on, Bitcoin basically had no alternative other than to break through its important level of resistance and continue up. But it did try its best not to, waiting to see whether stock markets would reverse, but stock markets just pumped further and further. As we can see here, they basically got up to their important level of resistance. We'll just extend this over here. They did have a decent indecision candle here, as you can see, pumped back to the top of it and continued upwards. So this is looking pretty constructive here. We could have had the lows in the stock market, as is my personal opinion that we have. We have obviously a very decent pullback. We had a very big rally, a very decent pullback, and if we turn around from here, everything's going to look all honky-dory. Everything's going to just look how charts do meander onwards and upwards. Obviously, it was quite scary, and everyone was calling new lows and blah-de-blah and Armageddon and everything down here. And yeah, things weren't looking good at this point. Obviously with well, to be honest, obviously with mainly the 10-year, but obviously the dollar index going a bit crazy. But speaking of said dollar index, there we go. There's our good old forward check, back check, and pay check in a textbook fashion. We can actually look at some horizontals here. I mean, we're practically in and out, aren't we? We will draw them on. Obviously, we don't. Obviously, we were in relative price discovery for near-term price action around here, so we didn't actually have much drawn on, and there wasn't any real reason for me to think that we needed to draw any downside support levels at the moment. However, yeah, it looks like we did. We are retracing quite nicely here. I mean, ultimately, like I've been saying, and you could probably tell that I was getting I wouldn't say stressed is the word, but I was getting very frustrated with this dollar strength, because like it has been highlighted, it is like the phrase that has been coined as the dollar wrecking ball, and it just isn't acceptable. For you can't have the world reserve currency then literally suffocate the whole world of liquidity just because you are not managing that currency very well. So it does need to come down. Ultimately, if it just bounce anywhere around here and put in a new high, we will be looking at some sort of a plaza accord, and then that event will potentially be front ran with a weaker dollar potentially at some point, depending on what level we're weaker from. But yeah, like I said, you want the world reserve currency. You can't have your currency just being so ridiculously strong, because literally what you're doing is sucking up liquidity and practically suffocating every other country in the world, and then some of them particularly so. So yes, we are basically just testing into this support. And just below it. So if we do break this, then yeah, next level's down here. We'll actually colour this in now, seen as potentially a bit more relevant. Next level down here, then obviously we've got the previous one we did come a back test before, and then the previous one that we did come a back test before here as well. So we are coming and back testing these support levels in a pretty standard fashion. So I mean, yes, we could bounce from here. It's not a very deep support, or we could come down potentially into this support and get supported and put in a higher low relative to this low here. Basically, breaking here though is going to be the point, particularly breaking this low, but breaking this support area will probably be the point that we could say that we can expect more downside. Obviously, oil helping out with its move down, helping out with inflation concerns. I mean, it's breaking the support, it's back testing it. Does it break back above? May do. Or does it come down? There's a lot of speculation, obviously, that is getting a lot of long speculation that's getting liquidated in the oil market. And I mean, I do make a lot of bad calls and good calls. Just make a lot of calls basically. But this was one that I did kind of see. It was so prevalent on a crypto Twitter and crypto YouTube, not crypto Twitter, financial Twitter, FinTwit and financial YouTube. everyone just going on how commodities are going to the moon, up, up, up and away. Everybody was positioned long, and that honestly, it did seem like there's only one way for it to go, and that is basically the way that it went. Yes, Ethereum Satoshi pairing, obviously with this Bitcoin playing catch up. Ethereum is taking a little bit of a backseat to that, easing off a bit into basically testing this support level, this previous high again. I do fully expect this to turn around and continue onwards and upwards with obviously merge speculation, but we shall see. Here's the USD pairing as well, having a nice move up here. I mean, this is obviously a significant level, and then obviously this whole big support resistance area here, we can see is pretty important. If we get above there, then if we get above here, then yeah, we should be looking at least a test of 2000, and then do we break it and continue onwards and upwards? We shall have to see. What else do we want to look at? We will look at those stochastics for Bitcoin 4 hour onwards, upwards, getting pretty high, steep here. Getting pretty high, but still obviously that's a shorter time frame. 12 hour, got plenty of room to run and looking good here. Daily, plenty of room to run and looking good here. 2 day, all the field, all the pitch to run into and looking okay. I would say looking good, but I mean it's still low obviously, but that gives it all the field to run into, as I said. 3 day turn up from a low level. 5 day will potentially turn up if we continue to hold up here, trade higher, and then similarly with weekly, we'll turn up and continue upwards. So bi-weekly upwards as well. And yeah, so realistically, we could, if stock markets are going to continue to behave, if we get a good CPI number next week, and especially for crypto, if the merge all goes okay, we really could see some decent price action to take out. Yeah, I mean, we could easily find our way over the next couple of months up towards 30,000, and then decide what we want to do. Decide what we want to do up there. Obviously, the caveat is CPI numbers and what the general market does. So yeah, that is pretty much it for today. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. So do your own research, and I shall speak to you guys soon.